So Vanessa, you're all about empowering women with We Are the City, and you're also a non-exec. So first of all, do you want to tell us a bit about your non-exec work, what boards you're on and how you found that experience?
First board that I was on was Prostate UK. I was one of only 2 women on that board. So when I turned up, I was like, oh, I was kind of thinking in my head, I wonder why I'm here.
Yeah.
But it was amazing, but it was incredible. But it was, that experience, I was headhunted for the role, kind of went to my first meeting, having an understanding of kind of what was expected of me. Obviously I was there to challenge, but for me, I was learning about something completely new. I was in a room with surgeons, clinicians, people from the NHS, all talking about kind of prostate cancer and, where they needed to focus their efforts strategically. So it was very interesting because I was trying to take kind of my business skills into that environment, and obviously as someone not coming from that background, I was able to ask those kind of obvious questions. So it was, I mean, in all fairness, it felt like a bit of a stretch role, because at that particular time I did feel a little bit of imposter syndrome kick in, more because I didn't have the subject matter expertise. But it was incredible, because when I went back into the bank and I had to challenge or put my point across, it was like a breeze in the park, because I'd kind of done it in an environment I wasn't familiar with. But very much my corporate experience around governance helped me with that role, understanding different committees and where I could add my skills, like either remuneration committees or finance committees or things like that. So not just being on the board, but playing into those various different committees and adding value that way. The next one was more of a kind of, it was a board of sorts formulated by Cancer Research UK that created Women of Influence. So these were 25 women that were of senior positions across the city that came together as a board to create something really, really special that would raise an amount for cancer research. So that board consisted of a lot of women that are still my role models today. So chaired by a wonderful lady called Tamara Box at Reed Smith. But through that, we run, I think it was 2 large events called Bags, Bangles and Brooches, and we raised nearly £1 million. But that board was really special in the respect of, we weren't just a board that were there to raise money. There was also a mentoring program that was attached to it. So we were assigned scientists that were working in London hospitals to mentor with our business skills. And when they first propositioned this to us, we were like, oh my God, what can we possibly teach these incredible women, about business? But there was quite a lot of correlation in terms of, they had budgets to manage, they had deadlines to meet, they were running labs full of staff. So there was a lot of transition skills. So that board was absolutely fabulous in terms of, and I think it was part of that for the best part of 2.5 years. And I know that they're assembling another one at the moment. So that was incredible. But just to sit around that table and work out how we could strategically add to the goals of cancer research was phenomenal.
And then more recently, the Government Digital Service.
Government
Management Institute.
Yeah.
That
was kind of disbanded about a year ago, I think, just as Brexit was coming in. But again, that was another incredible board with Martha Lane Fox, Dr. Sue Black, Professor Sue Black, a number of the founder of Love Film, I think it was the CEO of Marks and Spencer's. Again, another one of those where you walk in and go, oh my God, why am I here? I was actually headhunted by Matt Hancock for that role. I remember him calling me, because originally I declined it. Again, bit of imposter syndrome clicking in. And I remember having a phone call with him where he was kind of convincing me to join that advisory board. And he's done a good job, needless to say. And obviously we've watched Matt's Hancock career. But it was fantastic, a few meetings, just again, looking at the strategy of what they were trying to do around GDS to make people's lives more easier from a digital perspective. And so that was the last kind of one. And I've had a few offers come in the last year, but it's just not been the right time or the right thing, but it will come.
Yeah, Vanessa, that's brilliant to hear. You've sort of bounced around between quite a few boards already. What would your message be for people that are looking at a board vacancy and think, that's not my background. I haven't got experience in, just thinking of that prostate cancer role, I haven't got experience in that area, or I'm not sure why they would see value in me. Like people looking at board roles that are outside of the industry that they've got experience in.
I would say, challenge your imposter syndrome. That's the first thing. Don't rule yourself out from the offset. there's a lot of different transferable skills that you can bring. You know, if you think about perhaps your strategic experience, say your governance experience, you know, whether or not you've had experience in the finance. I mean, each board composition is made up of different people that bring different skills to the table. So you're not supposed to be all encompassing. You know, it's about, you know, where's the value that you could add as a part of a bigger puzzle. So I think kind of look at it from that perspective. Well, here's what I can bring to that particular role, rather than I'm an absolute subject matter expert on that particular thing. I would say gravitate towards a board that you're passionate about. You know, because obviously if you're passionate about the cause and it's things that you've been involved in the past, you can definitely bring more to the table than, you know, even what you believe that you could. So that would kind of be my advice. But I say definitely don't discount yourself. Just go for it.
We've been hearing it a lot recently that a lot of boards, like areas like insurance and asset management, previously only ever had people on the boards from insurance and asset management. And the problem is you've got no one bringing different ideas. So you need other sectors, you need other backgrounds so that you can start to innovate. And actually having mixed boards does really help for that.
Different industries, as you say, is really important. So, you know, I think every board should have someone with that tech background, because that's the way it's all going. So looking at that board composition and looking, you know, for women in tech, and I know lots, you know, to kind of go on those boards so that we can get some more women into strategic making roles, but also to get them to contribute and raise their profiles as well, which be of value to whoever's running those boards as well.
And Vanessa, what would your message be for women that are considering applying to join a board?
Do it. Just do it. It's a natural evolution, and we need more women on boards. You know, there's obviously lots of different campaigns out there and things like that, but we definitely need more women, and I'm talking here about intersectional women as well. So, you know, we don't want the boards just to look like all the rest of the men in the room. You know, we want to bring some diversity to that table, get some diversity of thought. So absolutely 100% go for it.
And I'm going to ask the other one, technology, people from technology backgrounds, what would your message be for them if they're looking at applying for board roles?
Oh, definitely step up and do that. You know, I would say from a tech perspective, 17% of women in the industry, and that's like the normal triangle. It gets even less and less as we go up the chain. So, and we've got so much value that we can bring to those boards to make them diverse, to bring in a difference of opinion. So 100% women in tech, get out there. And if you look at a board and it's all men, you know, and they all look the same, pitch to the boards. I want to join. I want to bring my experience. Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Yes, I love the way you're kind of on the edge of your seat, ready to go on that one.
Yeah,
let's get in there. Come on, get applying for the roles. Definitely, I think like it's hard to change if you don't get people applying for the roles, and that's why we started Dynamic Boards, is just to kind of make it really easy for everyone to see the roles. So there's kind of no excuse. Like, have a look through the roles and apply for some of them.
I've already shared what you guys do 3 times this week. You know, people looking for Ned roles. I'm like, go and talk to the ladies at Dynamic Boards.
Oh, thank you, Vanessa. Is there anything else that you see that's kind of a blocker to getting a better mix on boards? What have you kind of seen in these?
No, I think sometimes, as I say, there may be this kind of perception that it's unachievable, you know, to go on a board, and also this perception that, you know, you have to be, you know, perhaps 4 generations into your career, you know, of a really, really senior level. I actually think the boards need to mix it up with different generations, you know, to bring in fresh perspectives. You know, how are they accessing their customers, their clients, you know, their supporters? So you need that different generational look. So, you know, one of the things that I would say to perhaps people who are more younger in their careers is to don't rule it out. Don't think you have to be like, you know, nearing the end of your career in order to contribute, because there's a lot of experience that you can bring in today's current marketplace to those boards.
Yeah, we'd really back that. I guess one of the things we're talking about is multi-generational boards. I guess looking at how the Women on Boards movement went, I was wondering what would happen if we'd have called it gender mix on boards, trying to really like encourage people to recognise men are part of that too. Men are part of it. They can be part of the change. So when we look at generations, we want to talk about multi-generational boards. We want to be working with people that have got 40 years experience, but also people that are digital natives that have 10 years experience and everything in between. Like, that's where we want to head to.
Well, at the end of the day, we've all got something to learn from each other. And as much as you've got the experience in the kind of upper regions of people in their careers, we've also got these youngsters that are coming through that really get it, you know. So mixing that up, working out how that works, you know, be fantastic.
Amazing. And there's like a jingle bells there just to remind us it's coming up to Christmas.
Indeed.
And the dogs haven't barked, Vanessa.
They're not. That's because I'm like.
Have you put muzzles around them just for the call?
They barked yesterday all through virtually every single one of my conference calls, but hey ho.
Well, Vanessa, brilliant to speak to you. Thank you so much. And I hope this is encouraging to anyone that's considering applying to join a board.
Wonderful. Thanks for having me.
Bye.